Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, the most powerful of the two foldable phones launched today. Well, there's three of them, there's also a flip. But I'm talking about the book type foldables. We're dealing here with a bigger version of the Fold 8 that supports extras when it comes to video recording. So first things first, let's talk about the design. It's bigger, it has an 8-inch screen internally and also an external 6.5-inch screen. It's got a narrow format you've seen on the Fold 7. It's not that different from the Fold 7 if I'm being honest, design-wise. However, it's the slimmest foldable that Samsung has ever made at only 4.1 millimeters in thickness, and it has the best hidden crease I've seen ever since the Oppo Find N6. It weighs just 215 grams, which is very light. It's got IP48 certification for dust and water. I mean, it's okay, but I've seen the Honor Magic V5 with IP68 and IP69, and that's a bit more impressive. Now, I should probably also mention that we have Gorilla Glass Victus Ceramic 2 for the external screen, we got a plastic protection for the internal screen, and we got an aluminum frame here. Now, the novelty, if you look at this panel, is the fact that we have a special titanium film below it to make it more resilient, and a titanium plate below it as well to make the screen, I would say, stretched, so it does not show the crease. Ever since the Oppo Find N6, companies have been competing for that. Some people say that the screens you're seeing on the Fold 8 series will reappear on the iPhone Fold, iPhone Ultra, because Samsung is the provider of those screens. The main panel is a foldable dynamic LTPO AMOLED 2X 120Hz refresh rate. It's got an 8-inch panel, and you can see here two color versions of the phone, white and gray. There should be more. The design hasn't changed that much for the camera module at the back side, and we still have, I would say, two of the three sensors of the Fold 7. The main 200 megapixel camera and the 10 megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. The novelty is actually the ultra-wide camera, which jumps from 12 to 50 megapixels, a jump in resolution. You can also shoot 8K video and actually edit it on device, it's that powerful. And selfie camera wise, there's a 10 megapixel shooter cut in the screen, internal one, and a 10 megapixel shooter cut in the external screen. They are able to shoot 4K video, just in case you're wondering. Now inside we have the same processor as the Galaxy S26 Ultra. It's the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 3 nanometer in the 4 Galaxy edition, which means it's clocked higher. Usually such a processor would be at 4.6 GHz, this one is at 4.74 GHz, so clocked just a bit higher. 12 gigs of RAM or even 16, and up to 1 terabyte of storage, UFS 4.1 I'm guessing here. Aside from that, the battery is quite impressive. Finally Samsung listened to the people and they're offering us a 5000 mAh silicon carbon unit. It gets 60 watts wired charging, 25 watts wireless charging, and that's pretty impressive. Of course, a lot of AI features are available here, and I'm talking about, for example, my fan cam, which automatically crops your video so you can post them on social media without having to worry about the focus and fitting of a person in the frame. Audio eraser is still here, applied in the likes of Gallery, Netflix, YouTube, and a variety of other applications. There's still some novelty when it comes to productivity, I would say. You can do multitasking now, and you can even use Now Nudge in a more proactive way. So for example, if you're chatting to a person and you mention a trip, the calendar will appear and you're going to add that trip to the gallery. But right now I want to talk to you about a special
What's
type
the weather
of,
like tomorrow?
content creation. Now, in the camera app on the phone, you can use LUT profiles. You have 4 LUT profiles, you can see them here. You have romance, you also have thriller, and you also have blockbuster, like a few of them. So your colorization is done for you. So these are 4 presets for colorization, or you can use the log profile and do your own colorization after the fact. That's one of the novelties. We also have the APV codec, and there's been an improvement in the video capture at night, basically nightography. That's one of the improvements of the device. Now, aside from that, the camera stays the same. The AI smarts of the camera have been improved, and software-wise, we're getting One UI 9.0 applied on top of Android 17 with a promise of something like 7 years of updates. Other things we're mentioning is that we're getting Gemini notebooks right now, which replaces Notebook LM, and you gather notes, audio recordings, pictures. You can create infographics, and detailed works or even podcasts. The thing is with the now nudge and the more proactive now nudge is that now you're able to do a split screen. So if you're opening now nudge from a conversation, the screen will split in two. One of the halves will have your chat app, the other will have the reservation that you're going to be doing for a hotel. Speaking of reservation, now if you're watching a reel about a hotel on Instagram, you can definitely start booking that hotel straight from the app, thanks to the automation here. Of course, we have image generation stuff here, image generation solutions with AI. You have a creation studio, and you can input, I would say, words like keywords to change the clothes or the backgrounds of the photos like we did on the Galaxy S6 Ultra. Sadly, we do not have a pen support here, so there's no support for stylus. That's have been available for a while. I'm playing with Circle to Search now, which ever since the Galaxy S26 series has been able to recognize multiple people, multiple objects, and multiple, well, steps. I would say this is pretty much it. We talked about the processor, the RAM, the storage, the battery, and once again, we also have Gemini available here with all the goodness you find on all flagships, including Gemini Live, including Nano Banana, and other such things. I feel sure that I'm forgetting something because there's a lot of novelty here to discover over the coming weeks. Things to remember: slimmest phone, silicon carbon battery, new ultra-wide camera, improved low light capture for video, those profiles, LUT and log profiles for colorization with a special 4 presets. So it's basically a phone for vloggers. The idea is to sell it to people who don't have time to go and upload content on the PC or the laptop. They want to do their editing straight from the foldable and upload it to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and generate money from that. So basically content creators. Right now I'm also playing with a bunch of options here. I'm editing on the fly
De
with
răspunsuri
AI
avem
the
nevoie.
photo I've just taken.
Întrebări avem.
It's a scenario that Samsung envisioned for the entire Fold series and the entire Galaxy S series. At the end of the day, the jump from the Fold 7 is in the ultra-wide camera, nightography, and AI. That's pretty much it. Now the crease, people are wondering, is it better hidden than the Oppo Find N6? Is it the same? Well, I think it's pretty much the same. Okay, so you just saw me changing the color of the clothes of some people, like I did on the S26 Ultra. The choice remains yours. This one is about 200 euros pricier than the Fold 8, but it has an extra camera when it comes to the telephoto zoom. It's bigger, it's got a bigger external screen, it's got a bigger internal screen, but at the same time, it still has those black bars that have plagued foldables for a while now. It's interesting to have two folds this year, and I look forward to seeing what Apple can deliver come September. For now, this is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, the best spec foldable phone on the market and the most prone for video content creation. That's it from gsn.com. Hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.